Sometimes I'm like so good and I totally do tweets before the map begins, and then other times I'm like, oh great, I got 30 seconds during the intro to quickly put this out. So if you guys want to be really cool, get on Twitter, go retweet this, share with your friends, let them know what's going on. This guy might have a funny name here, but I will remind you all this is Puck versus Scarlett. Not Puck is Schloopy apparently. Goes from Puck to Iron Man to Schloopy. Just pick some silly names, I don't know. But at any rate, this is still the winners bracket, and it is a brand new best of 3. I'm Rifkin, casting today with Complexity Centralisk.
Yo.
Yo, and why don't you kick off these intros, dude?
Alright, so spawning in the top left, it is the Protoss player that's playing against one of NA's finest, IVD's Puck/Loopy.
I love the enthusiasm into that. His opponents, in the bottom right, from Team Acers, of course, going to be the blue Zerg player, Scarlett.
So yesterday I actually played Puck in a tournament, and we played on this map in the first one, because there was no vetoes, so he just chose Deadwing.
Okay.
And what Puck did was go for a really heavy gateway attack, of basically very focused on sentries and stalkers. I'm not sure if that's what he's gonna do with Scarlett. However, it is a possibility, just because you know, yesterday ZVP Deadwing, Scarlett probably doesn't know.
Well, you know, here's the thing though. Scarlett, of course, pretty much any matchup, if she can get an edgeway, you know, her Mutalisks are her babies. But Puck, I've actually seen fight off a lot of Mutacorruptor in his time, and it seems to be one of the few things he can comfortably do. It's weird. I don't know if you feel the same way, but like Puck's not a character you can really classify. I feel with like one standard strategy. Like you got players like Dezo, for example. You know they're gonna play to the late game. They're not gonna 2 gateway proxy BS you or anything like that. But Puck's like this weird guy who can and will do everything.
Yeah, I agree. It's like what I do too. It's good, I think, to not be predictable.
Exactly. Yeah. I'd say it's one of the strengths. I mean,
and the YOLO factor about Protoss doing whatever they want helps that style too.
Yeah, it's like, which all-in do I want to do today? Pick it out of my grab bag.
Here's the thing, okay? Sometimes when Puck plays Scarlett in tournaments, he does like seemingly random attacks. Like he's getting +1, but he attacks you with zealots that he hides before the +1 is done. So this kind of thing can catch you off guard once in a while. I remember a game Puck beat Scarlett on merry-go-round with exactly what I just said. So, well, in this game actually, I think Puck is a little bit. He's going for the gateway first into no scout and taking his natural, while Scarlett went for a hatch first and then a spawning pool and a really quick third following that. So I think Scarlett's opener is really strong versus this kind of style.
Well, what I do like is, yeah, I've seen a lot more of this too with Protoss players going for that quicker third and just doing a nice sick gateway wall off here at the top of this ramp. This is a map where
so good for that.
Well, what I was thinking about it though is like one thing I'm seeing is, you know, I look at this map immediately and you think, okay, these bases are really exposed no matter where you take them. Whether it's the third here, whether it's the third here, but it actually ends up making for a much more solid 4th base for either player later on. Obviously not fast. Who's going to go fast for base? But there was a game during DreamHack Grubby played where he just super turtled on 4 bases versus eOnZerG and kicked a lot of ass. So I've seen some cool potential for defensive play out of Protoss players, but as you said, there's a good chance we might see some aggression here.
Well, Puck's doing the same opener he did versus me thus far. In that he goes for the gate expand and then he doesn't make any zealots, he goes straight for stalkers. The good thing about that is when you open for a fast third as the Zerg players like this, you're not going to have Zergling speed for a long time. Oh, that was a fancy move there. Yeah, he saw the Greek tumor and he dived in for it.
It's a nice little move too, because you gotta consider this is kind of one of the big things that not only just helps Zerg in general, but it's like Scarlett, right? You give her a creep, just a little bit of creep, you know, give her an inch, she goes a mile type thing.
Yeah.
This is a lot of killing power here, though. If he can just kite the lings around before the queens get involved, he can easily snipe off these 2 queens.
I do notice Puck has the probe really close to the warp-in point, which is what he did versus me too. He warps in from the base close to your third, and he did get a forge back home. So what he wants to do is get that +1 finish for sure. This way, zealots and stalkers are a lot stronger. And we'll just see. Oh, he makes the Twilight Council and more gases at the natural. So this isn't going to be a really crude gateway all in on 2 gases, let's say.
Yeah, it's almost guaranteed going to be for Blink 2 over Celebi DTs. I mean, I don't know why that's the style right now, but everybody's doing like +3 weapon upgrade Blink Stalker en masse, and it's working a lot.
Yeah, I remember the days where Protoss players complained that Stalkers are bad, and then
now they're
once
like,
you have so many of them, it's just, if you don't have the proper tech as Zerg, you're just going to have a bad time.
Yeah, and it's not that the Stalkers themselves are so strong. It's like that you can't kill them off. They keep getting away with like 5 health, blinking to the back lines. You just retain them over and over and over.
Basically, if you're on top of your micro, you can mitigate half the damage from the total life, like only the shield, and then you regenerate that slowly over time, while Zerg just loses units the whole time. So that's really strong, of course, with Blink Stalkers, as everyone knows.
Okay, so this warp in, what, I'm thinking 7 Zealots, 6 Zealots before he goes. With the times it with +1, if Scarlett doesn't have roaches, this third base might actually go down.
Wow, that Zergling that Scarlett just sent out saw a glimpse of the probe, however...
Didn't see the pylon.
Yeah, it didn't dip down or kill the probe.
You know, the creep tumor might. Oh no, it comes back for round 2. It sees the warp in the Zealots, though.
Well, that was the other Zergling, so I guess that was a good catch. Oh, I think it's because the mothership core going to the watchtower, so she pulled it back, but then right into the Zealots.
Okay, well here's the problem, guys. With +1 weapon upgrades finishing in just a second, these Zealots get a 2-shot the Lings. +1 armor is pretty far off for Scarlett. Puck might try and hold onto the pylon, but this pylon is actually not that critical. I mean, it's closer and it's better, of course, but he's got that other one established too.
Yeah, and the longer he waits, the more reinforcements are going to be at home for Scarlett, and also spine crawlers. Spine crawlers are actually really tanky, of course, and Zealots don't do that great versus them, especially when Queens can transfuse or Zerglings can gnaw away at their side blades or whatever. So now that 3 spines are finished, this probably won't do as much as Puck would have liked.
I mean, even just forcing out like 5 spines like this is kind of huge. Recall goes down, she'll probably cancel the additional ones. Puck is forced to cancel his Nexus at that third. Kind of sucks.
That's not good for Puck at all.
No, yeah, he really needs to get that base up quickly. Because Scarlett's going to start flooding.
Yeah, Puck does not have any gas units, so he can't deal with mass Zergling properly, especially because the Zerglings are going to have 1-1 out, so... unless Puck walls off his thing soon. Oh, well, Scarlett actually just going to chill at home for now, instead of try to put on the pressure. Because when the things... Yeah. With +1 armor on Zerglings, they don't get 2-shotted anymore.
Yeah.
And when you have 65 Zerglings, 10 Zealots all of a sudden doesn't seem that scary.
But it's not like it's going to be 65 with that full surround. I mean, Puck, one thing we can't give him credit for, he's one of those few Protoss players you can rely to land those force fields. You know, some Protoss, you watch him panic, but...
Yeah, Puck's really good at force fielding, it's just he only has 3 sentries, so all you have to do is bait the force fields out, and then at the very least you baited some force fields out.
Okay, Observer coming through the middle of the map. Warp Prism also on the way. This is something we're also seeing a lot more common in this matchup too. I'm loving the addition of like the Warp Prism, like the emphasis I should say on the Warp Prism harass. But with Archon started up, he's just a little bit worried about this Ling count. I wonder if he'll put those in the Warp Prism or if he's actually just going to keep them for the defense.
Probably for defense.
Yeah.
Or maybe even a fake push out. But back home, Scarlett is staying on 5th.
Yeah.
And with 2 macro hatches, she's going to be able to make so many Zerglings with spine crawlers that if Puck actually wanted to attack, it would not work out at all. Because 2-2 is also going to be done. There's going to be more Queens. So right now, I don't know how I feel about I
mean, this is like Charge Lot Archon without the charge. It's an awkward composition to have because one of the big things, guys, decent force fields here.
Yeah, that was a bit scary because if Lings got trapped, they would have all died. Just they had to run through the maze, sort of.
Yeah, but I mean, the point about this is the Archons, they're really powerful versus Lings as long as they don't get surrounded. If they can get that surround off, Lings will actually chip Archons down, no problemo. And for Puck, you know, normally you have that charge down to rush to the sides to create that sort of ghetto wall, the meat shield of the Zealots. But back at home, huge attack at this doorway, not a lot to defend.
Yeah, Scarlett's trying to make Puck decide whether you want to push in or go back home.
Yeah, this is kind of hard to... There's so many spines here. He can run past them, though. Go to the third.
Oh, he is. Oh, he's going to fight him because there's only 3 on the field at the moment.
But he might lose his walls back at home. He's trying to put down additional walls behind this, putting out more pylons, layering this thick as he can. But this is quite scary. Because, okay, he's pushing strong. Scarlett's wasted a lot of her Lings down this door. I mean, wasting a lot of time. There's 19 roaches on the way. These Archons going to blast through anything that's bio. that
she needs to have the
Fester.
Infester's fungal and then wait for the roaches to pop and then surround with the Zerglings, and I think that would be okay. But as you can see, some of the units died running around.
I mean, he holds at home. He can recall once those once this gets too crazy. That recall. No, time warp instead.
Oh, time warp.
I don't know how I feel about that, but he's still pushing strong here. I mean, this is still a lot of zealots. I'm just surprised it's being so efficient without charge. However, most of the Archons have dissipated. Those were the real damage behind this army.
Yeah, Roach Queen versus Zealots. Usually the Roach is gonna, and the Roach and the Queens are gonna come out ahead in that one.
Actually, I really like the Scarlett went for these early infestors. Blink Stalkers or something get out of hand very quickly, but if you fungal them, there's no running away. They're forced to fight.
2/2 upgrades on Zerglings too really chew up Stalkers.
Oh, Ultra Scavenger on the way. I didn't realize she had snuck in Hive Tech while this was going on.
Yeah, she was going a few infestors with the Hive. And after defending this, it's really good because Scarlett actually has a 4th. I mean, one of the bases died, but the 5th is now the 4th, so you can mine from that if you wanted to. And all you have to do is deny the Protoss from taking their own base at the moment, while your Ultralisk Cavern is and your upgrades are finishing up.
I just get a force shot down here. This cannon, it's kind of weak. Not the best wall.
Okay, yeah.
Really curious to see how he plans to utilize the Warp Prism here. I mean, for a forward pylon, I mean, standard, and that's cool. There's a lot of creep. You're not going to be able to physically put pylons down, but he's actually got some behind enemy lines. So what he could potentially do is fly this into the main, start warping in, draw Scarlett there, and warp in towards the 3rd with the pylons he has already established. I think it could be really cool, but...
Yeah, well, at this time, the Warp Prism is still at home, so... It'll be at least a minute before it can be put to use, if it actually gets sent out.
He's actually just going to use it to try and take a 4th. This is a little bit scary, though, because we got to consider Puck did send out that Observer early on, but he's still not actually ever seen Scarlett's main at this point. Which means he doesn't see the Hive Tech, he doesn't see the Ether Chambers, he doesn't know about the Ultralisk Cavern. What he has right now, with a couple of Mortals, okay, in Blink Stalkers, you can dance around the Ultralisk technically, but he's got no efficient way to deal with these Lings. He's going to get fungled, and I think he's going to get wrecked. It's going to... How this
yeah, that's what I think too, especially when the Ultralisks are out, which they're already halfway in production. But, oh, we're going to see an attack here before the Ultras.
Oh, he needs to recall. There's no way he takes this
recall. Okay,
yeah, that's
so
scary.
That's good for Protoss. I mean, the army is not that good, but the recall is good. So you save all your army instead of losing all your entire army.
But his 4th is so exposed right now. There's a hole in that wall too. These Lings could possibly run by if he gets distracted. Scarlett just gonna take advantage of the weak wall over here as well. Puck gonna be forced to fight, and he can't really fight right now. Lings flood in.
Fungal.
Oh, but he's gonna lose all the infestors.
Yeah.
Or she, rather.
Wow, the Ultras are getting blocked by the Queen. See how slow that is? Okay, there we go.
Yeah, Ultra's really clumsy. You know, if Puck can get to the top of this, those Ultras can't funnel in, and that's going to be huge. But he already loses his 3rd. Good force fields locking every single unit here at the natural, but does he have the DPS for it? It's going to be the big question. Scarlett's pushing hard. Actually, no, never mind. Disengage with the Queens and Ultras. Take that back.
It seems a bit wasteful by throwing away all those units just for Nexus. However, back home, Raider Spire is getting started, so if you can squeeze out some Broodlords with your Ultras and your Queens, Puck's not gonna beat that with just a Gateway army, let's say.
Yeah, you know, he did already take that 4th, so I mean, losing his 3rd just kind of puts him right back on square one. Does need to reestablish that. There we go, the Nexus as soon as he can. It is scary though. The Greater Spire's on the way, and once again, Puck doesn't have knowledge of this. You know, that was a good hold, playing blindly into that push, but I mean, Broodlords. The best way to deal with them is going to be Tempest, and Puck has no Stargate tech.
Oh, 7 Broodlords are on the way. I don't think Puck has enough here to.
I don't think he does either.
2 bases before the Broodlords are finished.
Well, he's going to do what he can here. Lots of transfuses going down on this one Ultra. It's being hammered away by the Immortals, but the transfuses are insane. However...
The Immortals and the Archons.
Yeah. It's also out of energy.
The
Broodlords... Oh, can he get the... It's on cooldown. He can't blink underneath them. This is going to suck. Forced to back away from this.
Oh, that was close.
Oh, losing the Mothership Core. No more chance of a recall. That's going to be really unfortunate, actually. But does Puck throw down Stargates, or does he just go heavy all in on this? Guys, I mean, you see the Broodlords. You now know it's available. How do you react?
I'd say he has to get Tempest.
Yeah,
Tempests aren't even that expensive.
Well, what I'm wondering is if like he identifies it's still low count, he might just try blinking under them with the Stalkers, right? But that's not going to be efficient by any means.
Not versus Ultras and Queens.
Yeah, exactly.
And are there any infestors left?
Oh, no warping on the main. Lings fled to the main. These are
but then you can just warp in the main. So
Yeah, but let's not forget, Scar's still on like level 3 weapon upgrades. Zealots get here, but Probes could have died. He was a little bit later with that. Still focused here in the middle of the map. More Broodlords on the way. Storm gonna be the choice.
Interesting.
Still bleeding out in the main. Never quite fully cleaned these up. I'm surprised, Scarlett, she got away with this without the adrenal glands upgrade. Something we're seeing a lot of Zerg players start utilizing more. Like you never saw this like in the last like 5 months, but something clicked recently and we're seeing adrenal glands a lot more, but not out of Scarlett. So these Lings, which are already very potent, could be even scarier.
That's true. I think it's really good to get the adrenal glands, just because it's like a free attack upgrade, let's say.
Yeah.
Since it does give you the extra or the less cooldown. Now the warp prism you were talking about earlier is making its way to Scarlet side of the map, where it's gonna start warping in 10 zealots at once.
Hey, what's really nice though, Ultras, Broodlords, Queens, these are not gonna be quick to the response. Lings will run around, but anything that Puck warps in, those Lings are gonna wreck anything that comes to defend against them. It's only really these big, heavy, slow units that she has that's gonna scare them away.
Oh, the warp prism's gonna go down before it can unload. Yeah.
A little unfortunate.
Damn.
It's mostly Zealots though, so I mean, to be honest, just minerals.
Zealots, the Protoss Zerglings.
Well, lots more Archons coming in. You know, I was expecting to see a lot of Templar banking up energy. He's only really got about 3. Oh, sorry, I take that 5. Some decent storms available behind this.
Okay. As long as Scarlett doesn't throw away the ground army into that before the Broodlords gets there, assuming she wants to attack, it's gonna be.
Well, she could siege up. I mean, hold position behind this third. Just launch. There's no way Puck wants to engage.
You need the Broodlords. You can't throw your ground units in first, or they're just gonna die. Oh, he's gonna.
So many transfusions available still, though. We'll see these Ultras. One of them's gonna live for a while, but the other 2 might just die here real quick, as we see. Broodlord's gonna do what they can. Instant army and a can. But even if Terran's coming out, Scarlett's bleeding out everything she has. But without any proper anti-air, these Broodlords might just end up taking this in the end.
Yeah, there's no answer for them besides Stalkers, and they were shooting at other things.
There are a hell of a lot of Stalkers, though. But as you pointed out, you don't want to blink into... Yeah.
Oh, the blink. Okay.
Well, actually, there's only one Ultra here, though. So the blink's maybe not that bad of an idea. Starts kiting this away.
Puck's only sniped 1 Broodlord so far with the blink, but now... Puck is right under it.
He's like 1 Stalker shy of getting these, so he's actually bleeding out a lot of his Stalkers trying to split the DPS here. This is really unfortunate. That was so many Stalkers that go away. Puck is in a lot of trouble.
You can't cost effectively deal with the Zerg hive army such as this with only gateway units.
Yeah, I feel this fleet beacon's coming down like 8 minutes too late.
It is a bit too late, fortunately.
I mean, the first time he saw this when he pushed across the map and that recall was forced, that's when we should have seen the fleet beacon come down, right? But decent snipe, but fungal growth is really going to be the bane of his existence here.
Yeah. He tried to snipe a Broodlord with the blink, but with fungal you can't retreat. So he lost more than he wanted to, just to get at 1 Broodlord. And now he's down, let's say, 80 supply. Yeah. So
and it's not like stocks are cheap.
More dancing. What is this? DDR like today is so much.
Scarlett is a I don't know, dancing queen, I guess.
Wow, more dancing queen.
So supreme.
Oh,
she
DTs.
was a dancing
overseer.
queen.
DTs are gonna kill the Ultras and the Queen, so you better make an overseer.
Well, Puck's wasting a lot of time with the Broodlings, though.
Yeah.
But even then, it's not like DTs can shoot up. So GG.
Exactly.
Scarlett will take game number 1.
Wow.